Gary, Sharon, Massachusetts, listening on the web. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Mr. Hanegraaff. How are you? It's a pleasure speaking with you.
And with you.
I have two probably simple questions
Sure.
in the early chapters of Exodus. And one is that the Lord told Moses told the Lord he had clumsy, uncircumcised lips. So the Lord had Aaron speak. But it seems to me that Moses still does some of the speaking to Pharaoh. Why would that be?
Well, first of all, when Moses makes this excuse to the Lord, where he says that he's never been eloquent, and he's slow of speech and of tongue, the Lord rebukes him. And he says, who gave man his mouth? Who makes him deaf or mute? Who gives him sight, or who makes him blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go, and I will help you speak, and will teach you what to say. In other words, the Lord was saying, you are depending on your own resources. You say, I'm not eloquent, I'm slow of speech, I don't have a very good tongue, but I'm the one that inspires you to speak. I'm the one who will give you the ability to do what you can't do on your own. So don't complain about mere earthly talents. I'm going to give you something far superior. I'm going to speak through you. Now, Moses persists, as you well know, and so God says, okay, I'll give you a mouthpiece. I'll give you someone to speak for you, and he gives Aaron to Moses as a mouthpiece, someone who can speak for him. But as it turns out, Moses does recognize that what the Lord says is true, and he is the quintessential lawgiver, and he does go to Pharaoh, and he lays down the law with Pharaoh, just as he is intended to do with his own people.
Okay, that makes great sense. Thank you. One other quick one.
Sure.
The blood. He says he's going to turn everything, all the water, into blood, but then they're able to dig along the Nile to get drinking water.
Well, yeah, I mean...
all the water was going to be blood.
Well, yeah, I mean, what's interesting here is that the magicians were able to demonstrate to Pharaoh that turning staffs into snakes or water into blood, that could be accomplished through natural means, and thus they did not have to be explained through the supernatural intervention of Yahweh or God. However, with the advent of the plague of gnats, the magicians were forced to tell Pharaoh that this is the finger of the Lord. So what was done there with the water being turned to blood does not mean that all the waters were turned to blood, or that you couldn't get water from the water table itself. But there were some plagues that simply could not be duplicated by sleight of hand and sleight of mind. So the one was manifestly supernatural. Doesn't mean that there was no water available for anyone anywhere, but it does mean that what happened was so supernatural that it couldn't be explained away, except the enchanters and magicians tried to do that by doing their own sleight of hand and sleight of mind. But then as you go through the miracles, there are those miracles that can't be explained naturally, and then the enchanters have to throw up their arms and say, yeah, we can't do that. So this must be the finger of God. By the way, the same thing happens in the court of the Babylonians. Nebuchadnezzar is having dreams, and he has his own enchanters, and the enchanters are always, playing fast and loose with truth, and so they'll give him a pack of nonsense. There's another word for that, but probably wouldn't be appropriate on the air. But they give him a pack of nonsense. And so Nebuchadnezzar's kind of up to it. He's hip to what's going on. And he says, okay, if you can tell me the dream and the explanation, I'm going to believe the explanation itself. And then they say, well, no one can do that. Well, then Nebuchadnezzar's going to have them all killed, and Daniel saves the day. So there are limits to what the magicians can do. But the point here is, as the miracles progress, the magicians in Egypt have to throw up their hands and say, only God can do this.
I got you. Thank you very much, Hank. That makes a whole lot of sense.
You got it.